Welcome in. Today is Tuesday, the 15th of July. It marks perfectly the halfway point between when UnGrounded started and when it will eventually finish whenever Grounded 2 releases on the 29th. Today is, as you of course already know, the halfway point perfectly. And I'm glad it lined up so well. So it's perfectly a 4-week event, UnGrounded. But I mean, we're halfway through. So today, I think we just take a completely unedited, untouched piece of footage, search around, see what all has been happening in the server, what all there is potential to happen. But before we do that, I would like to thank all of the members who have joined me for this journey. Originally, it was supposed to be just a little creator thing, but I'm almost more grateful for the people on this world who aren't creators. They give a whole new air of depth to this world. But to begin the tour, we of course take a nice little look here, which is the first building ever built in UnGrounded. It was a little aphid farm, still is. There's no bait up here right now. But of course it is the aphid farm, and it has, along with my intention, provided food for the entire server as far as I'm aware. For the whole server. I still have some aphid meat down in storage here. But of course here is my outpost. I said I didn't want to build anything much by the juice box, but I certainly set up a base of operations, as you can see by its title, Wonders Outpost. And this was originally my thing, but a lot of other members have been using this as a kind of respite before they can get their own bases, which we'll be touching on here in a second. Speaking of their own bases, over here, this Cold Swords base. He was on earlier today, but it doesn't seem like there's too much progress happening over here. Just a little bit. And there's always going to be just a little bit of progress. And even if people are just chipping away little by little, it's progress. Always is. Here we have a zipline anchor tying up to our nice little zipline hub around the oak tree. And of course, I built this structure because at the end of, I think it was episode 4, I tried to go up to the zipline hub up there, and I ended up smacking my head on the floor, so I had to, of course, raise this up a little bit and also change around the location to the zipline anchor up there. It's just been a whole lot happening, so let's get our thirst up. As you can see, I am rocking the Bard's Bow and basically a Bard build, but also a Summoner build. That's just what I'm most comfortable with. If you want to see my mutations, here they are. Definitely Summoner oriented. Also, I have Widowing on, so of course very Summoner-esque. But here we take our first look at a real base. Well, I mean, we've kind of looked at Draconic's castle in the background because it's such a backdrop piece of this world, but here's my base, my little barge. You haven't yet seen the process that I've made actually building it up. That's in videos that are still down in editing, but that's just, part of the world we have to look around. It's kind of made to be a bit of a coziness farm. Of course, as you can see, level 4, nearing level 5 coziness in some locations. But it's honestly just a little place. It serves really no function other than maybe a bit of storage. It's just a nice little place to come whenever you need your batteries recharged, and sometimes you just want to enjoy the more peaceful corners of Grounded. It's like a nice, deep breath of fresh air after such a violent undertaking, typically. Speaking of violent undertakings, as you can see by my armor set and weapon, we have in fact beat a ton of bosses. Those, of course, being the Queen Wasp, the Hedge Broodmother, and the Mantis, although I didn't get to take part in the Mantis fight. We have attempted the infected Broodmother, but as of right now, nobody has taken her life. Now, this one is going to be a bit of a trek, because this is a very interesting spot, and definitely one of note, and it was only able to be accessed by HandyNet, which we do of course have enabled, even though we're not in New Game Plus, because, you know, it's just more convenient for building. And HandyNet has also been really convenient for setting up a zipline system that really reaches every corner of the backyard. But, of course, we go up here. We can also get a bird's eye view of everything around. Like, of course, you can't see Draconic's castle because it's not rendered. We can't really see anything being rendered, but we can just take a moment and appreciate the entirety of this world. I mean, it really is a marvel that we've made it this far. I mean, later today, in a couple of hours, maybe even a couple of minutes, we'll be doing the final defense. And then we'll be remixing the world. It's a lot. It really is. But hey, up and up we go. This was done by Draconic. He had a bunch of mushroom bricks left over after he was done with his castle, so he decided to take, I think it was 1.2 thousand mushroom bricks and just build directly upward with them. Was it a little crazy? Yeah. Could we have used those mushroom bricks for literally anything else? Also, yes. But hey, we continue on. We do. Here we can see the open part of the shed. There is a segment about that on one of my videos, and we do have a zipline down to the shed door. Although it's kind of useless, especially now that this has been put in. We can just fly down to that little slab of particle board there if we really need to. But this really is the highest point in all of UnGrounded. So it's really cool. Maybe even the highest point in all of Grounded at all. I don't know. Although from what I have heard, there may or may not have been some cheating involved by the player that did it. I'm not sure exactly to the extent. He talked something about placing the zip line with Wiimod. And while I do not condone that, this is not an aspect of the game we call UnGrounded. It is something he told me, and I really can't do much about it now, and it was kind of harmless. You know, just throwing up the zipline, not even building the thing. But I just thought I'd mention that. The tower hasn't even begun to render in yet. Oh, there it is. There it is. The tower of mushroom pillars. It's quite the interesting place, it really is. There are a lot more bases around that I would like to know about. I'm pretty sure there's at least 1 or 2 bases I don't actually know about that might exist. But I have no real confirmation of that and no real way to confirm that. But hey, we're at peace. And we're chilling. I might get a thumbnail up here. I'll do that later when I'm not recording, but I might. I mean, you would have already known that. Here in the video, you would have already seen it. The thumbnail, of course. But here we are, at the top. As you can see, he has this little platform and this little catch down here, just in case you fall, I guess. But it does lead all the way up here. Don't want to fall off this thing, no, that's for sure. Oh, that's a recycle, not Pete. Yeah, I mean, the shed's always been odd. Of course, we do have the Burgle comic strip. At least it's thought to be Burgle. We have the Java-matic oh so far away. Surprisingly, I thought the number would go up more. I don't know. I don't know what I thought. But what's really fun about going up here is going back down. Because as you can see, you pick up a bit of speed really fast. Actually, to the point where here in a second I'm going to have to turn around on the zipline just to reduce... Yep. Just to reduce the fall damage I take because, yeah, as you can see, there's a little chunk of fall damage there. That chunk is, of course, bigger if you don't do that, so I've always just erred on the side of caution. But here, using our handy-dandy zip lines, we can go to one of the main bases I know about. Of course, we have Wasploid on, so these guys really won't bother us. And here we are, the castle. Now, sure, it's not the best looking on the outside quite yet, yeah, or on the inside, but it's still definitely a development from its creator, Draconic, my good friend. And I think it really is a large project to be undertaking, and it looks pretty nice, if I do say so myself. Of course, there's parts of it we still can't look at, and we can't, of course, see it whenever it's fully done, but we can definitely take a moment to appreciate all the work he's put in thus far, and all the work he still yet has to put in. And now for the last base I know about over here, Bounty's base. As you can see, it marked there on the map. Well, it's not marked. Well, you get what I mean. There's a marker on it. That marker kind of looked like it was at it, but it was at the Java-matic. You get it. But Bounty's base is one of the... It's one of the only other functional bases so far in the game. There's Wonder's Outpost and Bounty's base are the only two functional bases. Of course, we have my Barge and Draconic's castle for more of the aesthetic builds on the server. But as far as I'm aware, Bounty isn't the only one that lives at the base, at his little outpost he has going on. But I can't confirm any of that. But of course, we can take a look around. It's so weird that we're going to be remixing here later today. I mean, it's already 6 p.m. for me, but... I mean, there was a lot more I wish I could have gotten done. Like, I wanted to do all the mixers and the super mixers. And then, as you can see there, I didn't quite get to do that. I did find all the milk molars, though, which I am quite proud of. I found a good majority of them. But all the other members certainly helped. And here we are at the last build of this little video. Bounty's base. I really like it, the way it's situated up here on the tire. It would be even cooler if you could build directly on the tire. As you can see, Bounty has kind of had to work around with this raised platform here, but that kind of gives them a bit of a nice place to freely work.
Be able to get logged in.